Have you heard of the Ellora Caves temple complex? Did you know that this complex of 34 cave temples was carved from rock using a unique technique? Watch the video until the end, and you'll learn how this unique complex was created, as well as what the main structure, the megalithic Kailasanatha temple, is all about. India is a country located in South Asia, occupying a large part of the Indian subcontinent. To the west, it is washed by the Arabian Sea, and to the east by the Bay of Bengal. India's climate is diverse. The western part of the country is in a region of insufficient moisture. The eastern part has sufficient moisture, and the northern mountainous region is in a high-altitude climatic zone. India is considered one of the warmest countries in the world. India is also known for its ancient civilizations, one of which was the Harappan or Indus civilization, which existed in the Indus Valley in the 3rd to 2nd millennium BC. After the arrival of Muslim peoples in North India, the Delhi Sultanate was established, existing from 1206 to 1526, which by the 14th century united the entire territory of modern India. Modern India is a multinational state and ranks second in the world by population, which exceeds 1.5 billion people. At the same time, the country faces the problem of poverty among a significant portion of its population. Economically, India is a key developing country with one of the most advanced and rapidly growing economies in the world. This country has a rich historical and cultural heritage. It is considered the birthplace of spices, tea, yoga, chess, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Hinduism is one of the oldest religions in the world, which originated in India. Trimurti is a concept that unites the three supreme gods of the Hindu pantheon. Vishnu, the preserver of the universe; Brahma, the god of creation and knowledge; Shiva, the god of creation, preservation, and destruction. In honor of these deities, many temples have been built throughout India, each of which amazes with its beauty and grandeur. One of the most remarkable temples dedicated to Shiva is located in Ellora. This is the Kailasa temple, which is part of the famous Ellora Caves temple complex. Its uniqueness lies in the fact that it is entirely carved from a single rock. This majestic temple, rising above the surrounding landscape, is a true masterpiece of architecture and art. Ellora is a small village in the Indian state of Maharashtra, located about 30 kilometers west of the city of Aurangabad. Since 1983, the Ellora Cave Complex, which includes numerous temples and fortresses, has been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Ellora is a unique place where three religions coexist peacefully, which, in addition to the high artistic value of the complex, gives the site special cultural significance. This uniqueness, along with the impressive sculptures, temples, and the mystical atmosphere that creates a slightly gloomy and even intimidating vibe, makes the Ellora Caves a true hallmark of India. The Ellora Caves include 34 temples and monasteries, stretched along the cliffs for about 2 kilometers. These structures were created between the 6th and 10th centuries AD, when different religious movements were changing in the region. Studying the history of India, one can trace how Hinduism gradually replaced Buddhism over a significant area of the country, starting from the 6th century AD. Archaeological excavations and dating of the temples in the Ellora complex confirm that the first Buddhist temples appeared before the Hindu ones. Later, in the 8th century, the massive Kailasanatha temple was built, and by the 10th century, 5 Jain temples were added. Thus, the Ellora Caves serve as a kind of history textbook, illustrating the development of religious traditions in India over the centuries. The Kailasanatha temple in Ellora stands out for its unique construction technique. Instead of the traditional method of building from the bottom up, this temple was created by carving from a solid monolith, with work done from the top down and from the sides. Magnificently adorned with carved patterns, the temple symbolizes Mount Kailash, revered as sacred by the four main religions of the region: Buddhists, Hindus, Jains, and followers of Bon. As the heart of the world, precise construction treatises were used in the creation of the temple, serving as a guide for the architect. Construction began at the top of the slope, where a trench was first carved into the rock, surrounding the monolithic block from which the temple was then sculpted by the craftsmen. The height of the temple reaches 30 meters, the length of the base is 55 meters, and the width is 36 meters. The temple is located in a massive artificial pit covering an area of about 5,000 square meters. As excess stone was removed, the enormous monolithic block gradually transformed into a temple consisting of two halls, numerous statues, and bas-reliefs. Each detail carried deep symbolic meaning. The 8-meter-high pedestal crowning the lower part of the main temple was adorned with 3-meter-tall images of sacred elephants and lions. It seems as if they bear the weight of the world. To emphasize the perfection of the structure, the temple complex was covered with white plaster and polished to a mirror-like smoothness. The entire complex consisted of 3 parts surrounding the central temple, dedicated to deities associated with the cult of Shiva. The Ellora complex contains many unique temples and monasteries, but the most famous and impressive is the Kailasanatha temple. This architectural masterpiece attracts attention not only for its size, but also for its unusual method of creation and rich decor, raising many questions about its origins. It is still unknown who exactly created this temple, but researchers have put forward several hypotheses. Most scholars associate the creation of the Kailasa temple with the reign of King Krishna I, who ruled approximately from 756 to 773 AD. However, there is no scientific evidence for this fact, and in this context, an ancient legend outlined in the treatise, Katha Kalpatru, attributed to Krishna, Yajnavalkya, plays an important role. According to this legend, the king's wife, who was suffering from a serious illness, prayed to Lord Shiva asking for her husband's recovery. In exchange for his health, the wife promised to build a temple in honor of Shiva and to fast until the upper part of the temple was completed. The king soon recovered and work on the temple began. However, the couple faced a problem. Completing the work took a long time, and the temple was built over many years. Then, an inventive master suggested starting the construction of the temple from the top of the mountain, which allowed the dome of the temple to be completed faster. This decision made the queen's task easier, allowing her to break her fast earlier than expected. Although the story is more mythological in nature, it is historically confirmed that the Kailasa temple was indeed built from top to bottom. This method involved removing over 200,000 tons of volcanic material from the rock. No element of the structure or decor was brought in from outside. Everything was created directly from the rocky mass. Considering the size of the temple, the rich decoration of the facade, and the inner courtyard, it is believed that construction may have begun under Krishna I and continued for at least 100 years, with decorative elements added by various rulers. The Kailasanatha rock temple in Ellora is truly a unique architectural achievement, embodying both engineering artistry and spiritual grandeur. The main sanctuary of the temple is surrounded by smaller shrines and mandapas, connected by a complex network of corridors and halls. The entrance to the temple is guarded by 2 massive courtyards, crafted with incredible precision and detailed carvings. These sculptures, crafted with great skill, create a powerful impression upon entering the temple. The gopurams, as the temple doors are called, are adorned with intricate carvings and sculptures depicting scenes from Hindu mythology, including episodes from the Ramayana and Mahabharata, as well as stories of Shiva and Parvati. The carvings on the gopurams reflect a high level of artistic mastery, showcasing themes from religious texts. Inside the temple, there are numerous sculptures and bas-reliefs depicting gods, mythological scenes, and intricate ornaments. One of the central figures is Nandi, Shiva's bull, located in front of the main shrine. The interior space of the temple also contains mandalas and shrines dedicated to various aspects of Hindu faith. The walls of the temple are covered with carved panels, each telling its own story. These panels depict scenes from the Puranas, myths, and epics, playing an important role in the overall artistic and cultural ensemble. In addition to their decorative function, they also serve as a source of knowledge about the religious and cultural traditions of that time. The domes and roof of the temple are adorned with carved ornaments and sculptures. These elements add extra monumentality and elegance to the structure. The dome of the temple symbolizes Mount Kailash, the sacred abode of Shiva, emphasizing the sacred significance of this monument. The Kailasanatha rock-cut temple in Ellora is an outstanding work of ancient Indian art, combining architectural and sculptural mastery. The sculptures of the Kailasanatha temple are among the finest examples of ancient Indian sculpture. They depict various scenes from Hindu mythology, including stories about Shiva, Parvati, Rama, Sita, and other mythological characters. Reliefs and carved panels cover the temple walls, narrating stories from the Ramayana and Mahabharata, two great epic works of India. Scenes from the life of Shiva and other deities are executed with great artistic expressiveness, revealing the spiritual and mythological aspects of the era. The stone carvings in the Kailasanatha temple demonstrate the highest level of skill of ancient Indian craftsmen. Every element, from the smallest details to the large statues, is crafted with special attention to detail. The symbolism and iconostasis of the temple possess deep religious and philosophical significance. The depictions of deities, mythological scenes, and symbols help convey ideas of Hindu cosmology, the spiritual path, and divine power. The interior of the temple is distinguished by a wealth of artistic forms. The inner halls and shrines are adorned with sculptures and carved panels, creating an atmosphere of spiritual elevation and beauty. The central sanctuary, with its detailed carvings and sculptures, creates a sense of sacred presence and an elevated atmosphere. The Kailasa temple at Ellora has significant religious importance for Hindus, being dedicated to the god Shiva, one of the principal deities of Hinduism. The main element of the temple is the main sanctuary, where the lingam, a symbolic phallic sign representing Shiva, is located. The lingam is an object of special reverence and rituals conducted by pilgrims and priests. Next to the main sanctuary are additional shrines, dedicated to other deities of the Hindu pantheon, including Parvati, Shiva's wife, as well as their sons Ganesha and Kartikeya. Daily rituals at the Kailasanatha temple include regular prayers, bathing the lingam, and offering fruits, flowers, and other items. Important religious festivals, such as Mahashivratri, attract a large number of pilgrims who come to the temple to express their devotion to Shiva and receive his blessings. The architectural composition and sculptures of the Kailasanatha temple reflect important myths and legends, such as Shiva's battle with demons, his meditation on Mount Kailash, and his involvement in the processes of creation and destruction of the universe. The Kailasanatha temple also serves as a place for meditation and personal spiritual exploration. Many pilgrims and priests come here to find inner peace, spend time in prayers and reflections. The atmosphere of the temple, filled with tranquility and goodness, fosters a deep spiritual experience and strengthens personal connections with the deities. Local legends and folklore stories associated with the temple play an important role in shaping religious beliefs and strengthening faith. They tell of divine interventions in the construction of the temple and its supernatural properties. These legends are passed down from generation to generation, shaping the culture of worship and devotion among the faithful. To get to Ellora, you can take a regular bus from Aurangabad. The trip takes about an hour. Entry to each temple is paid separately. The ticket price is about $5, roughly 200 rupees. It's important to remember that you can't take anything from the temples as a souvenir, since esoteric beliefs hold that items from ancient shrines can bring misfortune. Stones from ancient temples are considered special objects. Attempting to take anything as a souvenir can lead to trouble. The temple guards monitor compliance with this rule, and violators may be escorted out of the temple without explanation. Visiting the temples is allowed until sunset. After sunset, staying in them is prohibited. Guards may monitor tourists who remain in the shrines after closing and escort them out. I recommend having flashlights when exploring the temples, as some sculptures and carvings are hard to see without additional lighting. Tours can be conducted at any time of day, even into the night, but the best conditions for visiting the temples are in the early morning hours when the lighting is most favorable. A special time to visit Ellora is in December, when the annual music and dance festival takes place. This festival is accompanied by musical and dance performances that take place near the temples. Participating in the festival adds vibrant emotions and unforgettable experiences. The Kailasa Temple and the entire Ellora Cave complex are unique ancient monuments that continue to be important sites for religious practices, cultural tourism, and the preservation of India's historical heritage and that of the world. Friends, I have an offer for you that will allow you to travel without leaving your workplace. You have a unique opportunity to become part of our team. If you have video editing skills, can voice over videos in Russian, English, and other languages, or write interesting scripts, we would be happy to work with you. Message our Telegram bot. The link is in the description. That's all for today. Goodbye, everyone.